Number 7. Huh? दुनिया में मत किस कहती है?
Now we're going to do an example. See, when you learn anything, take an easy example, take an example that got positive numbers in it, and then do it. So you learn it more easily, right? So now you're going to do this with me step by step. So step 1, I'm going to tell you now, write this bracket 3 times. So you write it down 3 times. Okay, so you did it. Well, this is what you're supposed to have done. You're supposed to have written x plus 2, oh, sorry about that, x plus 2. So that is step 1. Alright, I'm going to wait for you. Have you done that? Good. Now, you go to step 2. Step 2, write that down. And just do that. I'm waiting for you to finish that step. Step 2. Right, good. You finished that. Now, inside here, you got to write that second bracket 2 times. So do that. So I'm waiting for you to finish that. Okay. So you have finished that. Then in front of this, you must write x, and in the space here, you must write plus 2. Right, now in the next step, just write this down only. In other words, just bring that down. Right, good, you wrote that down. Now in the next step, make that square bracket here and make the square bracket there. Right, I'm waiting for you, okay? So you've done that. Right, now you multiply x times x, x squared. X times 2 plus 2x. 2 times x plus 2x. 2 times 2 plus 4. Alright, so now you completed that part. Right, now bring this down. Right, I'm waiting for you to finish this. Just bring it down, just write it down like that. Good, you finished that, fine. Now let's get back here. There's your x squared. You're merely adding these 2 up and it gives you plus 4x. plus 4. Okay, so I'm waiting for you to finish that part. Alright, so you finished that. Very good. Now, what you're going to do is, you're going to repeat that bracket 2 times. So you're going to write it here. One time you're going to write it here. X squared plus 4x plus 4. Then you're going to write this again. Yeah. X squared plus 4x plus 4. So we finished that. We wrote that bracket 2 times. Right. I'm waiting for you to finish these 2 steps. Okay. All right. So you finished. Very good. Now you write the x in the front here, and you write the plus 2 in the back there. Right. Now, good. You finished that. Now you're going to multiply only in the front here. Multiply. Do this multiplication. So you're going to multiply. So x times x squared will give you x cubed. X times 4x will give you plus 4x squared. X times 4 will give you plus 4x. We finished the multiplication here. Then you're going to do the multiplication there. You're going to multiply that. You're going to multiply that. You're going to multiply that. So that's what you're doing now. So if you do that part, right, you'll get plus 2x squared. 2 times 4x will give you plus 8x. 2 times 4 will give you plus 8. Alright, now what we're doing, we're adding the blue and the red as long as they like terms. As long as they like terms. So this is x cubed. There's no more x cubed. So you just write it alone. This is 4x squared. And that is 2x squared. So those two will be added and you will get plus 6x squared. Then you got plus 4x and plus 8x. So you're going to add those two. Okay, so you with me? Good. So that's 12x. Okay. And finally you left with only 8, so it's plus 8. I'm sorry about this, my pen is running out, but hopefully you can read that there. Alright, so let's just drop this out and make it nice and neat. Let's just make that one there, nice and neat. So that 4x plus the 8x gave us plus 12x, and that all that was left was plus 8. So that's your final answer. And yes, there is a short way to do this, which I'll do at another time. But first you've got to learn how to do it step by step. Alright, I think by now you should have an idea how to do this, and I will give you a few examples to do on this. Alright, let's get an exercise ready for you. And 53, you've got to square them first and then multiply by minus 1, multiply by minus 1. Alright, go and give it a shot, give it your best shot. Take it easy, step by step, and you should get it right. Okay, and then shortly I will give you the answers. Okay. So here we are ready to get the answer. So that will be 2 plus a written 3 times. 2 plus a, 2 plus a. Then we just bring that down and we do that inside here. So it will be 2 plus a, 2 plus a. We're doing this part here, see? There's 2 there, plus a there. So that will be 2 plus a into 2 times 2, 4. 2 times a, 2a. See, we finished with that, we finished with that. A times 2 is 2a. A times a is a squared. Just bring that down. Sorry for that. 2 plus a. And there's your 4. And these are like terms. So 2a plus 2a will give you 4a plus a squared. And just right now we are ready. So we've got that. We've got 2 brackets. So the second bracket must be written 2 times. So I'm going to write it 2 times. 4 plus 4a plus a squared. 4 plus 4a plus a squared. In the front here you've got 2, and in the middle here you've got plus a. And then you multiply out 2 times 4, 8. You see now, be careful, you multiply, see, 2 times 4, 8. 2 times 4a will give you 8a. 2 times a squared will give you plus 2a squared. Now here you're multiplying a times 4, so that will give you plus 4a. Then a times 4a, that will give you plus 4a squared. And then a times a squared, that will give you a cubed. Right, so there's your 8. Now let's look at this. This is a and this is a, so that will give us 12a. And this and that is a squared, so that will give us plus 6a squared plus a cubed. So that's your answer. Okay. We have number 49. 2 minus x cubed. Write it 3 times. So that's 2 minus x, 2 minus x, 2 minus x. Okay. Bring that down. 2 minus x brought down. Then that is going to be worked out here. That. So 2 minus x, 2 minus x. In the front here you got 2. And be careful, here you got minus x, minus. Be careful, minus x. So that's 2 minus x into. Right, let's see now. Let's use some colors, make things clear. 2 times 2, 4. 2 times minus x will give you minus 2x. Minus x times 2 will give you minus 2x. Minus times minus will give you plus x squared. Okay, and then you got 2 minus x into this bracket here, right? So you got x. So we have to fill up here now. So there's your 4, and that gives you minus 4x. You see, you're adding minus 2x and minus 2x, and then you bring down the x squared. Okay, now we've got 2 brackets and we're multiplying. Therefore, the second bracket has to be written 2 times. So that's 4 minus 4x plus x squared. 4 minus 4x plus x squared. This 2 comes down here and the minus x goes down there. Okay, so multiply. 2 times 4, 8, 2 times minus 4, see multiplying here, 2 times minus 4 will give you minus 8x. 2 times that will give you plus 2x squared. You don't have to do these marks, but they help your eyes and your mind to focus, you see. So you know exactly what you're doing. Minus x times 4 gives you minus 4x. Minus times minus gives you plus 4x squared. Minus times plus gives you minus x cubed. Right, now there's your 8, and then this is x, and this is x. And then you got x squared, and you got x squared. So let's add the like terms up. Minus and minus will give us, we're adding now, you see? We're adding minus 8 plus minus 4 will give you minus 12x, right? And then we're adding those now. 4 plus 2 will give you 6x squared minus x cubed. So that's your answer for number 49. Right, number 50, 2x minus 3y all cubed. Now in comes here 2x, and here we have minus 3y. That 2x is here, and that minus 3y is there. Right, I'm just going to write it over here. From here, I'm coming down here so you get more space. So you got 2x minus 3y. Now, that 2x times that 2x gives me 4x squared, you see? I'm multiplying those two there. Right. I think you're quite clear about what I'm doing. Now, 2x times minus, well, let's do it this way. Plus times minus is minus. 2x times 3y gives you 6xy. Minus times plus gives you minus. Right? See, I'm multiplying here, then I'm going to multiply there. So, minus times plus gives me minus 6xy. Now, minus times minus gives me plus 9y squared. So, that's 2x minus 3y into 4x squared minus 12xy plus 9y squared. And that's there. Now, we've got two brackets. So that second bracket has to be written 2 times. So that's 4x squared minus 12xy plus 9y squared. I'll write it again. 4x squared minus 12xy plus 9y squared. Now, the 2x is in the front here, and the minus 3y goes there. And now 2x times that gives you 8. You see, 2 times 4 gives you 8. X times x cubed, x squared gives you 8x cubed. You see, 2 times 4 gives you 8. X times x squared gives you x cubed. Then you're multiplying those two. Now be careful. 2 plus 2 times minus 12 minus 24. Now x times xy will give you x squared y. Right, the last part. 2 times that. 2 times 9. Well, it's plus and plus, so it will be plus. 2 times 9 will give you 18. X times y squared will give you xy squared. Right, you've taken it a bit easy here. Right. Now I'm multiplying on that side. See, this times that. Minus times plus will give me minus. 3 times 4 will give me 12. Then I got y x squared, but I'm going to write it as x squared y. You see? It's y x squared, but I'm allowed to write xy squared. Then I'm multiplying minus times minus. That becomes plus. 3 times 12 gives you 36. Y times xy will give you xy squared. Right? And finally, minus 3 times that will give you minus times plus gives you minus. 3 times 9, 27. Y times y squared gives you y cubed. Alright, gives you y cubed. Let's write that properly. Gives you y cubed. Right. Okay, so let's see what happens. You got x squared y and you got x squared y. You got x y squared and you got x y squared. So the final answer will be 8x cubed. Now you got minus 24 and you got minus 12. That gives you minus 36x squared y. Then you got plus 18 and you got plus 36. You're adding them up, you get plus 54x y squared. And finally, what is left in the end? Minus 27y cubed. Let's write that properly. Y cubed. So, that's your final answer. 8x cubed minus 36x squared plus 54xy squared minus 27y cubed. Alright. Right, there's number 51, 2m minus 3n cubed. So step 1, 2m minus 3n, 2m minus 3n, 2m minus 3n. Now what I'm going to do in this example, I'm going to do it slightly differently. And if you like this new method, it will make your life easy. You see, I have to multiply these two first, isn't it? I have to multiply these two first. So if I want, I can multiply that, get the answer, and then multiply it by this. So I can do it separately. So if I like, I can just do that part there on its own. So suppose I do that. 2m minus 3n into 2m minus 3n. I'm doing only that part on its own. I'm doing it separately. I want to get the answer. So if I'm multiplying two brackets, I know I must write this bracket 2 times. And what's in the front here? 2m. And what's in the back there? Minus 3n. That's not good. Let's write it properly. Minus 3n into 2m minus 3. Right? See what I'm doing? I'm just doing that part there, here, on its own. I'll get the answer, and when I get the answer, I'll multiply it by that. I'll multiply it by that. When I get the answer, I'll multiply it by that. So it's easier to work like this, you see. So what you'll say, well, that's 4m squared minus 6mn minus 6. See, you're multiplying here, you're multiplying there. Then you're multiplying there and you're multiplying there. So you got your minus 6mn plus 9n squared, which is equal to 4m squared minus 12mn plus 9n squared. So you see, I finish multiply that and I've got the answer. So this answer now, so you take the answer, which is 4m squared minus 12mn plus 9n squared. You're taking that answer and you're multiplying it by that, 2m minus 3n. See? You worked that part out here, all on its own. You got the answer. Now you're taking the answer, there's it here, and multiplying it by that, there's it here. And now if I do this, right, then I will get, that bracket will have to be written 2 times. Same thing what we did before, but we're just separating it a little bit. So I can write this 2 times, see? 4m squared minus 12mn plus 9n squared. Now, what will be in the front? 2m. What will be in the front here? Minus 3n. So I'm multiplying here and I'll get 8m cubed. I'm multiplying there minus 24m squared n. Multiplying there, I'll get plus 18m n squared. Right. Now I'm going to that side. Minus times plus will give you minus 12m squared n. Then minus times that that will give you, see, minus times minus will give you plus. 3 times 12, 36. You got n, mn, so it will be mn squared. Right? And finally, it will be those two. Minus times plus will give you minus 3 times 927 n cubed. Alright, so we're looking for terms that are common. See, you got m squared n, you got m squared n. You got mn squared and you got mn squared. So when we group the like terms and add them up, you end up with 8m cubed minus 24 and minus 12 gives you minus 36 m squared n, because you're adding them up. And then you add these two up, you get plus 54 m n squared. And finally you're left with minus 27 n cubed. So that's your final answer for number 51. We're with number 52, minus into a minus cubed. Now we know what this is saying is that, look, first square. So this part will be in brackets, a minus 3 into a minus 3. You see? Because we've got to square first. So we're squaring inside here, and then we're going to multiply by minus 1. So just bring down that minus like that. We're squaring that, so it'll be a minus 3, write down an a here, and here you got minus 3. There's your minus, just bring it down, a squared minus 3a plus 9. Just bring down the minus, complete the squaring first, a squared minus 6a plus 9. And now you can multiply, so it will give you minus a squared plus 6a minus 9. So that's what we mean by square first, then multiply. So we finish squaring first, and then we multiply by minus 1, and that's your final answer. Okay, we are 53. Minus into a plus b all squared. Minus into a plus b all squared. So this minus, we have to square first. So it will be a plus b into a plus b. Well, there's the minus. Just bring the minus 1 down. Minus means minus 1. And here you'll have a plus b, and in the front here you got a, and here you got plus b. So there's your minus. A times a squared plus ab plus b squared. That's minus into a squared plus 2ab plus b squared. Right, we finished squaring. Now multiply by minus 1. So minus times that will give you minus a squared, minus times that will give you minus 2ab, minus times that will give you minus b squared. And that's your final answer for number 53. So I purposely numbered them from 1 to 53 so that you can see that you have to do a large number of examples to understand a particular section. Plus you got to do different types of examples. So that's the end of products, and if you understand these, then you understand the basics of products, and you'll be able to do any kind of examples on products. And once again, if you now really want to test yourself, then one day you must sit and try and finish from number 1 to 53 one time. That will be a real test. And if you try to do 1 to 53 and you know your products properly, it should take you only about 1.5 hours to finish from number 1 to 53. But remember, like I told you before, when you're learning, you take like 3 days to learn this. And finally, when you want to test yourself, you should test yourself and you should finish. Alright, let's be fair. and say that you should be able to finish number 1 to 53 when you know everything. You'll be able to do all these examples in 2 hours. Alright, so you've done a lot of work. You've earned a nice break now. So you can go and relax a little bit, and then we can move on to a new section. Alright, so here are the short methods for products. The first one we're going to do is squaring a binomial. So if you got x plus 2 all squared, then you've got to first understand what we mean. So we're going to call that the first term, and we're going to call plus 2 the second term. So the short method for this is square the first term, then multiply the 2 terms, and then times it by 2, and then square the second term. Right, let's see what we mean. Square the first term. So the first term is x. If you square x, it is x all squared, therefore the answer is x squared. Then you've got to multiply the 2 terms. So if you multiply the 2 terms, it will be 2 times x, and 2 times x is 2x. So multiply the 2 terms and then multiply it by 2, so it's finally 4x. So it's plus 4x. You see, multiply the 2 terms, we got 2x, and then multiply it by 2, so you end up with 4x. And then finally, square the second term. So if you square the second term, it is 2, which has to be squared, which is 4. So plus 4. So that's your short method for squaring a binomial. Let's take another example. Suppose I got, alright, we're taking another example, say m minus 3 all squared. So according to the rule, square the first term. So I'll have to square m. That means m has to be squared, and that's what? M squared. So this is m squared. Then according to the rule, multiply the 2 terms. So it will be m times minus 3. I'm multiplying the 2 terms and then multiply it by 2. So I can just put that in a bracket. So it's m times minus 3 minus 3m times 2 minus 6m, right? Or if you look at it the other way, minus 6 times m gives you minus 6m. And then finally you got to square the 3. Now watch out, it's minus 3, so you're squaring minus 3. If you square minus 3, you end up with plus 9. So that's number 2. Alright, let's take another example. Let's say x plus 5 squared. Square the first term, so it will become x squared. Now this, we don't need all this here. Then multiply the 2 terms, so it will be 5x times 2, it will come 10x, and then square the second term. Plus 5, if you square it, it means plus 5 times plus 5, you get 25. Let's take another example. X minus 7 all squared. Square the first term. You see? We're following the rule. Square the first term. X squared. multiply the two terms, it will become minus 7x. Times 2 will become minus 14x. You see, you had minus 7x. Then you have to times it by 2, we get minus 14x. And then square the minus 7, so it's minus 7 squared, which is plus 49. Alright, so that's how we do the shortcut for the squaring of a binomial. Now we're going to do the short method for a binomial cubed. Say we got x plus 2 cubed, and we want to do the short method. So let's write the method down first. Now there's quite a few steps here, but it's easy. You see, you cube the first term. So you're going to take the first term and you're going to cube it. Then you're going to square the first term, multiply by the second term, and then you're going to multiply by 3. See? Square the first term, multiply it by the second term, and then multiply it by 3. You see why? Because you're cubing, so you got to treble, you see? Right. Then let's come to step 3. Alright. We're going to write this answer down here, okay? So I'm going to write the answer down here. Okay. Then in step 3, so that's step 1, that's step 2, step 3. In step 3, you square the second term and then multiply by the first term, and then you treble. Because you're cubing, you're going to treble. It's times 3. And finally, you cube the last. Sorry. Let's make this look nice. We wrote everything in red there, so I'll write that in red. And then finally, you cube the second term. Okay? So, let's do it now. Right, so let's understand. That's your first term, that's your second term. So there's no problem over there. Alright, let's make that clear. That's the first term. And that there with the sign is the second term. Alright, let me just get our dog out of the way. Alright, so I have a pet dog and it listens to all the maths lessons. So in his next generation, you're going to have a dog that's going to be teaching maths. Right, so it says cube the first term. That means you take the x and you cube it. So what is that? That's x cubed. So there's the answer. Right. Next one says square the first term. So there's your x. You take it and square it. So it's x squared. Let's write it big. So you got x squared. Take the first term and square it. That's what I did. I squared it. Then multiply it by the second term, which is 2. Then multiply it by 3. So there's the 3. And if you work that out, what will you get? 3 2s, 6, 6x squared plus 6x squared. Okay, now let's do the next part, step 3. What it says, square the second term. That means the second term is what? 2. If you square it, what will you get? You will get 4, because 2 squared is 4, you see. Or let's write like this, 2 squared. Square the second term. Now remember it's plus, so I wrote 2 squared. If it's minus, but it doesn't make any difference. If you're squaring, it'll still be positive. 2 squared. Square the second term. Then multiply by the first term. What's the first term? X. And then what? Multiply by 3. Now if you work that out, 2 squared is 4, 4 3s 12, 12 times x, 12x. So that becomes 12x. You see? So plus 12x. And finally, you got to cube the second term. So you're going to take 2 and you're going to cube it. And that gives you 8. Alright? So that's how you got that answer. Right. You're going to take another example. Let's do it right from the beginning for another example. We had x minus 2 cubed. Okay. So first, let's be clear in our mind. That is the first term. And minus 2 is the second term. So the second term is minus 2. Right, so we're ready to get the answer. So x minus 2 cubed will be, it says cube the first term. The first term is x. So you're going to cube it, and what will you get? You get x cubed, so it's x cubed. Then it says square the first term. So there's your x, and I'm going to square it. Then multiply it by the second term. What is the second term? Minus 2. Then multiply it by 3. And if you work this out, you'll get minus 6x squared. Okay, so there's your minus 6x squared. Then let's see what it says. Third step. Square the second term. So you take minus 2 and you square it. Then multiply by the first term. The first term is x. Then treble it, right? Multiply by 3. So if you work this out, it is actually 4 times x times 3. And if you work that out, it is 12x. So that's plus 12x. And finally, you've got to take minus 2 and cube it. Now, if you take minus 2, take the second term and cube it, you will get minus 8 because it is minus 2 times minus 2 times minus 2. So you get minus 8. So there's your answer. Alright, so let's do one more example. Right? Let's get this out of the way. 3 all cubed. So let's go for it. It says cube the first term. So you're going to take 2x and you're going to cube it. So remember, the 2 will get cubed and the x will get cubed. So what you'll get? 8x cubed. So this will be 8x cubed. What does the second one say? Square the first term. So you're going to take 2x and you're going to square it. Then you're going to multiply it by the second term. What is the second term? 3. And then you're going to multiply it by 3. In other words, you're trebling it. Now if you work this out, that 2 is going to get squared and the x is going to get squared. So it's actually 4x squared times 3 times 3. And when you work that out, you got 3 3s 9, 9 4s, 36x squared. 4 3s 12, 3 is 36, 36x squared. So you got plus 36x squared. Okay. Then next step says what? Square the second term. So there's the second term and I must square it. Square the second term. Multiplied by the first term. What is the first term? It is 2x. And then multiplied by 3. So if I square 3, I'll get 9 times 2x times 3. Well, 9 2s are 18. 18 times 3 is 54. So this works out to 54x. So it's 54x. Okay, and then finally what it says, cube the last term. So the last term is 3, or second term. If you cube it, you get 27. So plus 27. So there's your answer in one step using a short method. Well, if you like it, you can use it, but the risk is yours. If you want to guarantee it, go and do it step by step. But you're welcome. If you use the short method, you will get full marks because you know it, and it takes quite a bit of effort to learn this up. But if you've learned it and you can get the answer, but it's great and it's going to save you a lot of time. Alright, so now you can sit back and relax, and this is where we're going to end our DVD on products. And once you know these basics about products, you'll be able to answer any question on products. So do enjoy yourself and try all the exercises again, and may you enjoy lots of success. Thank you. Are not the same. Although the bases are the same, the indices are not the same. Therefore, these powers are not the same. Alright. Then, if we look at another example, these powers are also not the same. Because the bases are different. So you see the first example, the bases are the same, but the indices are different. Therefore, the powers are not the same. In the second example, never mind the indices are the same, but the bases are different. Therefore, these powers are not the same. Right, so if we look at number 3, A and B, these are bases. The indices are exactly the same, but these powers are not the same, because the bases are different. So let's take another example. X cubed and x cubed. Well, these bases are the same, these powers are the same, therefore these powers are the same. So, for a power to be same, the bases